All right, starting our second. I guess these are going to be monthly session summits. Um,
Yeah, I'd say monthly and as needed. If I see something urgent,
yeah, I was
we'll
gonna
just
want to notice that for
we'll
the
call
first.
one. And then, I also liked our quarterly list review. I think we'll do that. Keep that up too,
What do you mean by that? Which one's that?
where we trim the watch list a bit.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we can record that too. That's probably not a bad thing to record. Um, Here, it's I definitely want to take a more of a bigger picture, broader view. Like these aren't for next week. Um,
Yeah.
so it's like finding places where we should be buying these, whether that's in 6 months or 6 years, it doesn't matter. But just like the perfect setup on these charts, because I don't want to be like pumping a sector kind of like we did China and then have to answer China questions for 3 weeks, right? Thinking it's the time to
Uh,
play China.
yeah. I mean, yeah, and by the way, on China, we're still kind of on my timeline for that. It was all summer stuff mostly.
Sure.
So, I mean, yeah, it got a lot of it got crushed, and I got to review the flow and stuff. But no, I mean, it wasn't like January 1st. I'm loading up on China. That wasn't really the that wasn't
Yeah,
really the
yeah,
trend.
yeah. So more for
Yeah.
more for information, more for stock knowledge, more for sector database, and like having a sector in mind. So if let's say, one, I guess this is probably not a great one either. But if we were covering like metals and materials, if a copper stock run, you'd know three or four other copper stocks that ran. Same with
Yeah.
like EV. If a chargers or solar start to run, you kind of figure that out. And that's kind of the point of this. Instead of just finding plays, is broadening people's stock knowledge, um, forming some plans and opinions. So yeah, yeah. I just kind of noticed that after the first one. We're always a work in progress. So how do you want to start this, Pete? Do you just want to go alphabetical, or what do you have in mind?
Um. Yeah. I didn't have them alphabetical. I was gonna go over. So I kind of like I got two lists. I got my kind of my top 10 IPOs. I swapped one out, and then I have kind of cross listed with your oversold list, and then we'll kind of see what's there after that. So I want to start with my list, and then some from yours, and then kind of get your thoughts on others that we could discuss. But for me, the number one that stands out is Lyft, and it's because of the leaps I see I got everywhere from 20, 25C, 35C, and it's affordable. I mean that's a kind of a big part of it too. That it's a cheaper stock, and you can, if someone wanted to, they could actually get into some of these leap positions even closer to the money for a move like that I anticipate. Big issue on Lyft. I think I don't know 6, 8 months ago it kind of decoupled from Uber. Uber took off, Lyft still struggled, and when we talk about a stock that can share side go 100 to 300%, Lyft sort of fits the bill for me. It's just a question of kind of where your levels are down here on this one.
I mean, 10 psych is obviously the hellish flow. I mean, that's where you go to 10 if there's bad news, or the overall market isn't bad news, or anything like that. But 12 to 15 is kind of where we're going to build before we take off, in my opinion. High on my list, I wouldn't say number one, probably because of price point. You know how I am there. Um, but if you take like price point, risk, reward, range, all that into account, it's definitely top five. Um, yeah, yeah, I like it. I think it's more of a long term share play. You can buy this one currently. On
Mm.
the option side, I don't know how you play it besides like buying real close to the end of the money, like 15s in January. That's what I'd assume you'd be buying,
Yeah, that's what I
something
would
like
do.
that. Um,
There's not a lot of appeal to following whales into 35C or something like that. I don't really see because if it just stays, because even if it goes 13 to 17, you're still kind of limited with those out of the money leaps on, how much you're going to make. But you take a 15C, $2-3 in the money. Even if we don't get to $28 or $30, you're still, it's a very, very good trade, and you can get out of the leaps, and you can, just keep the shares or whatever. So yeah, that kind of a good combination of
Yeah,
everything I look
for
for.
me, this one is. I mean, you're gonna want the position down here, 12 to 15. Um, for me, it's not one that's gonna boner candle to 30. It's gonna do kind of what you're saying. Run to 17, pull back to 15, run to 21, pull back to 18. Good news, go to 25, sit at 22 for a while. But 30 is a pretty good price target here for me. I don't think you can really go wrong here, unless they have some kind of catastrophic event. Probably one of the better companies on this list, P, to be honest.
Uh, yeah, no, I think so. And my next one is Snap.
That's a new one.
It is. Yeah. This was this kind of the swap I did, and
What'd you
just
swap it for the one that wasn't really.
Zoom.
Oh, okay. All right. Do your thing.
Um, yeah, I know I kind of caught you off guard on this one, but
No, you're
I wanted to
fine.
get to
I love this
because
stuff.
it actually it reminds me of Lyft in some ways, and part of it's what you're talking about, where it's you're not quite getting the boner candle, but you get some nice moves up, and then it checks back down. Now this one kind of broke out of a range I'd been trading for a while, which was basically I'd buy it like under 950 and then just wait around and kind of get out over 12. And so now it's 15. The I like this more than when we first started talking about IPOs, just because of the flow that's kind of come in on it. So let me give you some numbers here. I've got 25C and 30C January 2025, and 22C as well. So you're talking about 25,000 open interest on all three of those contracts. That I like that. I like this into the summer. Fits one of my themes with apps, and yeah, shares are pretty. You can buy a lot of shares. I like things where I can conceivably get 100 shares. That's sort of one of my criteria too.
Um, I liked it last summer. Let me pull it up here. Come on. Yeah, I liked it last summer here. 952. Don't search the group. I really liked it in
Yeah.
December when my son was here. Me and him talk about this a lot because I had a really in-depth conversation about this when he was here. But 952, that is what it was. Um,
Well,
that's the
you're
last
gonna
time. That's the last time I played it, P. So I have trouble getting back into this without some really good pullback. Um,
well earnings February 6th. You kind of know how this one goes too.
yeah, you're
I
gonna
mean, it could do that.
flush. You're gonna flush. So
Yeah.
this one, yeah, I'm just waiting. This is the level I'd be waiting for. This 1292, which was kind of the first target in general. If that
Yep.
confirms, if you do look at the chart in general, like if that confirms, that's a pretty good higher low because it hasn't bounced off of that in over a year. When it came down here, that's where it bounced, pretty much somewhere in there. But we haven't really confirmed this top. It's been resistance
So,
except for this move. So confirming that zone would be good.
um, near term flow on this. Now this is earnings, so take it. You got to take it with a grain of salt. But so the earnings positioning is 12P,
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
perfect.
and the alternative to the upside
30.
is 20C for 216.
Yeah, you probably don't have
Um,
that far. Yeah, sure, sure.
yeah, so that, I mean, that's kind of what to watch for earnings, and I'll talk about this. I need to set up that Lotto page. Um, IV's stupid high on these, but they're also not very expensive. So this is kind of a good risk reward $40 thing. But yeah, so I'm looking for that one. All right, so next up for me, now these next two are really just kind of all about,
Well, what would you hold
honestly,
on?
just
What are you buying this at? Like, what is your suggestion here?
oh well, under 13,
Okay, so
and I think
we're real close then. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
I'm looking for a flush on earnings, and then I'll get into it. Ideally, the earnings flush is over 20%. That'd be what I'm after, but we'll see what happens with that. All right, so then next up for me, these next two are kind of just really just about how well I can read the options. I don't know that they work share side, and they might need a little more of a dip, but Roku's next.
That doesn't count.
And what's that?
That doesn't count.
Why does that count?
Look, I told you why. It's too old.
Oh,
One,
okay.
two,
All right.
three, 4, 5, 6, it's 7 years old. It already has EMAs on it. The other charts don't have
All right.
EMAs on it. We can talk
All right.
Roku if you
I'm
want.
trying,
I mean, I know you like it, but
I'm trying to cork my bat here because I'm so good with Roku. But okay, so I'll be quick on Roku then. What I kind of see here is I got this line at basically $84, and this has flow to 120 to 160.
sure.
120 this summer, and then 160 beyond that. So that's kind of the next big move. Could definitely flush below this line for a while. I would not short this into earnings. They're probably going to do well. So yeah, this just expect to see if you're an options trader. I definitely like that one. And then next one I think is Twillo's too old.
Are you
Is
buying?
Twillo
Oh,
too old?
no, it's right on the.
Yeah,
It's right on the cushion. Are you buying this at 85?
I'm trading it at 85.
Okay. To the
So
upside.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
to the upside. You're trading off the
oh
support
yeah,
that should be here. Okay.
yeah. And like I actually, I mean, I did today. So today it was I was the look I was looking for in a lot of stuff was you get the kind of aggressive flush early, and then
Sure.
selling will weaken. So I got it at like 82.25, and kind of got out on that move up, and then kept some, and then it kind of ran back to the line into close. The best trade option side, this is for goes for pretty much everything, is right now an aggressive flush below a pivot, you trade it back to the line, and that's about all you're going to get. We're just not, except for a couple sectors and rare circumstances. You're not. This is why I talked today about you take your $50,
Yeah.
and whether it's 50, 100, 150, whatever, you just need to not have expectations of big, multi-baggers right now. But that's a little off topic. So okay.
So
So
this guy, I mean, like you say, you have 84, and when we talked in December, when I told you to fucking sell at 93, so you could buy
yeah.
here. So you could buy here at this level. I'm pretty sure this is the level we
Yep.
talked about. What
Yep.
I'm looking for, P, is this selling and small candles to stop. This one's probably not, but like I watch Fubu most of the day, and as soon as the volume comes back, especially the green volume, this is just going to gap fill probably back to this 93 level you can get right here. Yeah, back to this 93 level. But we're just, I mean, you can just see the volume slowly dying. So
Yeah.
about that guy bringing apples, at the end of the day, he has extra apples. He's just selling them for whatever he can get it rid of for. That's really what's going on right now. So I do like this play, especially since you're familiar with the way the options are
Yeah.
currently. Because I mean, this is the level we talked about. 100%. Like why? That's why you sold at 93, so you could play back. You could play
Yeah.
back here again.
Yeah. Yeah. And here we are. So yeah. Next up for me is Twillo. Now I can give you kind of exactly where I want to buy Twillo, and we're not there yet, but I think we
Yeah,
will
look at
be.
this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is worse. I
Yeah, I know. This is where
IPOs.
I'm not like a monthly chart guy, and what I was looking for is like what it did after COVID, where it is now, and then kind of come back up. So yes, I did kind of ignore its early history.
That's a
So
different. That's a whole nother sector.
you're right. This is I think it's my last one.
It is. It is.
That,
I've edited them all. I've edited them all. You only have the
um,
two.
so $64. That's where I want to buy Twillo, and
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
pretty sure we're gonna get that. And you can go 100% share side from there. That's kind of my
Okay.
my thinking with it. So the lead positioning here, got a lot of 90
That's all right.
C into the summer. You got 100 C as early as April. That's still still pretty solid. And then you get the 120s out to January 2025. So yeah, that's that one.
This is why it doesn't work because it doesn't like 1 year. 1 year we're real good. See, we're clear volume profile 1 year at 80. We're real clean. No shares traded in the last year above $80. But my three year on this fucking thing has got them at 400. And I'm trying to find clean charts both ways right now. On these two charts, I want nothing real close because that's when you're gonna really run.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So this next one, I think
Yeah,
will
you're
kind
good
of
the
fit.
rest of the way unless you added some shit.
No, no, okay. I got coin, but yeah, but I think coin's okay too.
That's good.
Um, all right. So Rivian,
Yeah, no.
which don't like the sector that much right now, but I do think. Let me give you some strikes here. There's still a lot of upside to Rivian optimism, whatever you want to say, at 27.5 C, 30 C for January. You even get some 40 C for January 2025 as well. And kind of near term, you get back into the 20s and for like 223. There's some possibilities there. And then 15 is about it for the downside. Possibly 1250, but that flow is kind of neutral, so I don't think that that's gonna do much.
I have what do I got here? Sorry, I zoomed in. I was looking at stats. Yeah, I have 1929 as a pretty huge level. I was disappointed to see that breakdown. Volume profile currently is 17 or 18. With you on 15 being somewhat important. Um, Finally feel like all the chips are on the table on this one though, so not really going to go below that 15 mark. Seems very, very, very possible. I mean, maybe 14, 15. Um,
Yeah.
but just the upside for these guys. Currently, the mark is, for me, and I said it, I don't know if I said it this week or last week, but the cash is in, but you can't be burning cash again, and that's why everything in the alt energies. That's why I comfortably can post every day. EV, alt energy, solar chargers, they're gonna get taxed because they're cash burns every day. They wake up and burn money to keep their business open, and the market just
Yeah.
is back in that cycle of not liking these guys. If that changes, they're going to do what they were doing in November. They're going to go back 25 to $30. Um, yeah, yeah, so it's about where you're adding. I'm saying 14 or better. I don't think we break below the 10 psych ever. I really don't think you get the 14s though. I just don't. Not without some news.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. If you did want, so if you wanted to hedge this to the downside whenever you get into it, you could do a leap at 1250 at for January for under $200. So it's kind of all about how well that math works with your position sizing. Because if you're trading to the upside, you don't really want the hedge to do well, but the hedge needs to do well enough to kind of let you stay in it or compensate for a dip lower. Maybe you just have two buys. If that 1250 does materialize, I don't think it does right now, but I would just say like I'm mindful of whales buying that strike for a breakdown all the way. But otherwise, yeah, I'm with you on the entry there.
Their financials look good, but again, they don't have. I mean, they're almost a billion in the hole. I mean, they were
Yeah.
a billion and a half last year. I mean, they look good, but they're going the right way. But it's just more about like this is the one where you get the risk on, risk off switch. This is one you buy.
Yes.
That's how I see it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
now this next one, I probably actually would rank it higher if I completely re-ranked these, just because of the past few weeks. But Toast,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
TOST.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So this is a they process online payments for like you order a pizza at some restaurant. They use them to do the payments. And okay, So flow here, March 23C, and then I've got leaps at 30. Those are the two that stand out. So the January 2025 30C to me is kind of whales. They're planting their flag there.
Yeah, right
They
here.
want to make a run, and that's where we're gonna go. And I think you could trade it short term in those monthlies, 20, 20 or lower on the strikes. What I would go with those.
What's your big number? 30?
30, yeah.
Yeah. See,
For
you got to clear this for me, and you do. Because there's your 1 year gap. You see how this one looks a little better up here? Nothing. Nothing.
yeah,
Real skinny. We like them skinny. Um,
yep.
this seems like it's a important channel here. Top of your box is 23. Bottom of your box is 16 with 19.5
Yeah.
in the middle. So I mean that's kind of your range. I mean look how that's pretty rhythmic
And
and
there it is.
cool.
That's March. It's March 23. So
March 23.
so that yes, March 23C. So that's it right there. Um,
Hold up, one time.
yeah.
Okay, I've been wanting to do that. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it when it lines up. So this next one.
Whoa, 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 whoa! What's the plan, Stan?
Oh, sorry. Okay.
16 seemed like it for me. That's where you add down here about these 16s. I wouldn't add over the 19.5, but 16 looks like a great
I'm
number.
yeah, I'm adding. I mean, for me, it's under 17, just because there's so much time on the options.
You buy 20s or you go way out? What do you do?
So if I think March 23C is going to be where we go, 23C is $18. I don't like buying options that cheap, so I go 20 at the same 20 on March, and then
15?
yeah.
Yeah, it's 50. That's like that. Okay, okay, perfect, perfect. That's the first one. I would say that is. I should be keeping. Oh, I guess lift too. Second one that's kind of active. You could probably pay attention to it now.
Yeah. Now this next one, I still have some of this at a pretty good average, but it's just about where you add more. Affirm.
Yeah.
So I'm under $20 on this thing,
You're
and
welcome.
I've just kept it. Yeah. And got out of the options. No reason to keep those. I think I was out at like 36 or something like that. But okay, so Affirm. This one gets you got leaps to 90, but there's some stuff in between. So lot of 50 and 55C for January, and then like I said, it kind of hops to 90 after that.
You got sold putters here?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at here. So I've got sold puts at 40,
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
42, 38. 38 is the lowest.
Yeah, somewhere in there. I'm with it. I mean, you can see it on the big chart. It should catch this right here. It really should. This yeah, it's 30, 38, 39, 40 somewhere in there. If you go into the volume profile shelf, yeah, no, that totally the 42 makes sense. The 38 makes sense. So that would be my current channel. Um, Second one, I gotta say, don't search the group. I pounded the flipping table on this thing.
Yeah.
September, October. It was in my read the room list every flipping week. Um, yeah, so I don't really have a spot, but I mean, you just gave it to me because it's this right here, 42, 37, and then 38. Yeah, lots left here, P.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Next one. Now, this is one I think that we're in the ad zone now, and that's Lemonade.
I'm gonna throw that on there real quick. Give me 1 second. All right,
Yeah.
37.99 it is. Lemonade, go for it.
Lemonade's January 2025, 35C, 55C. Lots of activity in March, April at 22, at 20 and 22C, which is, I mean, that's kind of the main trade. I think you take your money there, and then if free shares or leaps or whatever, but yeah, I do think that this 35C's a pretty conservative target because I do think it gets higher than that.
It one of the better volumes on channels there, 1633 to 2205. It's been on the list because of that lately. Um, Even back to the top of it, this is a good channel play, P. You don't even need the full meal deal here. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, Night is Young here. You're gonna
And
want to
this is
be.
my it's my third trip through the zone. So
Yeah,
um, yeah.
I got 60 on this. I don't know where you are high end, but I mean that.
Yeah,
What,
55's kind of my top, but let me take a look and see if I can dig a bit.
I'd assume you're just real active at 30 because that's your breakout.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's 30, 35, 32, 50.
I haven't really watched this one, but like when it's up above 22 because it hasn't been up there long. But I bet they shut it down every time it gets there. It just doesn't stay. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's been it. And it's not well, here, yeah, here's 37C came in today for January. So yeah, they're adding up there for sure.
221 ER. I like that too. I like the February ERs versus the January ERs.
I do too. Yeah. All right. So next up for me, this is another one that kind of already won on recently. Dash liked it better
95.
at our
95.
spot 95. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I could easily see that again. Okay. So shorter term, 110, 115 in March. The sold puts on this are 95, so that's not really that surprising. And then January 2025, 130, 150.
Wow.
So I see this one as 50% from here, not 100% from here, but that's still pretty good.
If you can get 95s again, I'd buy them, but it's going to probably dance around this 100. Try to confirm that. Good ER report sends this thing to 140, in my opinion. It cuts moves like that.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, so we look to add. So I can't add this one now. If you're in it, I think you can stick around. But I might have something on earnings for it. That's what I'd say. All right. So next one for me is you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was that on your list?
So I've got
Was that on the list?
yeah, it was
Earnings?
number 9.
Oh,
Yeah.
I missed it. My
Yeah.
bad. My
number
bad.
9. So is this too old?
No, no, it's
Or are we
good.
good?
No EMAs. No
Okay.
EMAs.
So I've got a January 2025 60C stands out, and then shorter term, 216. I've got 40C on that. So that to me that's kind of your swing trade. Might add a month to that, but I think we get back to 40 in the next month or so.
Man, like we're like 70% of these were the best plays in November. They were all called at the level they were on. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, 30. You're just buying us off at 30. I got 55, 68, a couple bucks below you, but same top end target, and that just gets the party started. P. This will go back to 100 with profitable business. I don't know their numbers that well, to be honest with you. Um, but if they're got a decent setup on the share side and they're profitable, they should do real well. They're 380 million shares, 70% insider owned. Yeah, they could do good. This could do real well. This could do really well.
Yeah, and this is one you usually get a big earnings flush in recovery on this. That's been the thing lately
Yeah,
with
we're
them.
like I don't see this going 27, maybe. I mean, it ain't lasting.
No, I mean you got to buy the shares after hours. You want that price. That's been
You're not getting an options at that price.
no,
No.
not the last I think the last 3 times it's hasn't
Not
those
long,
that
yeah.
pre-market low. I never saw it again. All right, so the next one, tricky thing with this one is just there's so many people piled into weeklies, so you got to kind of cut the noise out. It's coin, uh, big favorite of mine, obviously. Not going to get our generational entry on this again. So it's kind of a question of when is the breakdown gonna stop. As far as the target for coin, I mean, for me, it's over $200. Is 240 to 300. That's where I think coin's gonna end up. How it gets there, whatever happens with crypto, or someone buys them, or whatever. But that's the lead positioning. That's where I think it goes. So where do you add? For me, I want to get as close to 120 as I can get, and that is it in options for downside. So then the question is kind of where are your levels compared to that?
It's been a fun watching you guys talk about it in general because I from the rip top, like as soon as it hit 180, I was like, all right, let me know when it's back to 100. And you know me, I'm pretty stubborn in those evaluations. Um, so
Yeah.
right now we're just catching this 50 on the day, right? So I don't think that if Bitcoin stays at 42 or less, um, it's a matter of time before this goes back to 100 for me. I could see your little fight there at 120. You're not pulling it out your ass. They're positioned there for sure, but I think it will just flush. I think it'll flush. I think we'll get all the way back down to 100. Not for long. It'll be a bit, maybe 105 or somewhere in there, but just kind of where it's going.
So with that in mind, my strategy, other than just trading it a lot, is under 120. I start adding down to 100. If it takes off before then, I'm already in it. It's all good. So that's my new position on coin. Risking one of my better lifetime P&L stocks in getting back into this thing. But I do think, yeah, I think that's kind of where we check down. I don't see us getting to 70 again or anything like that. So
Is the $10 range playable daily?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I've been doing with MSTR just because
It's better. It's
it's
better.
better right now.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It flushes overnight or in the first 20 minutes, and then it kind of finds equilibrium. It heads back up. Today, MSTR just took way the hell off. Doesn't always do that, but yeah, that's what I've been doing, and that's what I said, that your 5 to 8% range on crypto is not flat to +8%. It's -4% to +4% or +2% or whatever. So you got to buy red right now and then trade it back up to a level. But yeah, so I wouldn't pile into coin right now. Look into the summer. I do think we break down. I'm with you there, but the local pivot might put up a fight.
Definitely. You know when MSTR does that, P?
What's that?
It does it the week it's on Read the Room.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I only play
um,
upside. I only play upside. You guys got to know which way I'm looking.
yeah, yep, yep. And now, what I'd like to do now is I want to go through your oversold big list,
Okay.
and I picked out 5 that I really like a lot, and then then you can go through any other ones you want to go through. Um,
Let me. Can I guess? Can I guess?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Sphere,
Yes.
Roblox,
Yes.
Hood,
Yes.
Bros.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Damn. Oh, I'm not kidding. It's right here on my
Uh,
post-it.
um, fuck. I want to say PTLO, but
Damn, 5 for 5.
is it?
Oh man.
Oh man.
It is.
Okay. Okay. Man. All right.
Oh, that's crazy. All right. Um, so okay. So Sphere, um, this one I've just kind of I just like the concept and just kind of saw the whale positioning here from early on, and they're still in it. 60C as early as May, but through January as well, and you get a lot of 3750 into April. Sold puts on this are mostly 29, 28, some 25, but to me, you get this under 30, and I think you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, for me, it's too new. Like I got the 34. I'm gonna just tell you 34. I mean, it's everywhere. It's all I got. I need some
Yeah.
time here. I like where you're at though. Anywhere in the 20s, it's more of a DCA. Just everyone should be treating this like a bill. That's kind of how I feel about it. If it's not this IPO, it's one of the newer IPOs. What you had two of them this week, Card and Arm. Um, but
Yeah.
something I think you should everyone should have one of those right now where you are not day trading it. You're just getting a position over a little bit of time because these are going to move on news. It's the weird time of their life where like 8 to 10 people on the street know them, but only like 2 people know this. They even got a ticker. So as that levels out, more people will want to own it. If they
I
get
mean,
if they get into any ETFs, that's also a big push too, which none of them are yet. So
I mean, the way I found the ticker was, I mean, it's pretty early. I just saw, the Sphere, all the tweets about it, and I'm like, who owns that thing? And I was surprised it had its own ticker. I thought it would, MGM or somebody. I just thought it was somebody owned it. But yeah, for it to have its own ticker and everything, it just line kind of lines up for what I look for. But yeah, it is in that newer pile. Cart, Arm, Sphere. I'm in all three, and just sort of looking to build there. All right, Roblox.
yay!
I do. I like to add this. 36 is my number up here. We're not probably getting our home run entry we had, but I do think it'll check back down to 3606 is my line. Could probably get below that. Flow on this usually runs into the 50s, 60C. Yeah, here it is, 60C as early as March. That's a little much, but it's a lot of that in the summer, a lot of 50C in May. So 50, 60, 65 C January, all those stand out to me.
Um,
Can go much higher. I'd probably say 105 or I don't know, something like that. 90 to 100.
damn. That's usually not above me by that much. I like when you are though.
Yeah.
This is your problem right now. This declining volume. It's going to drag price. But other than that, I'm a 39 guy. 40. Me and Professor argue about this shit all the time. Um,
Yeah.
all my volume profiles used to be 36, so I was like, yeah, you know what, you're with it. But they're all 40 now. They've all flipped to 40. 1 year's 40, 3 years 40. Obviously, the 10 years going to be 40. So this declining volume is going to drag price back down into this channel. It as soon as the volume comes back into this, it's gone. It's not going to be under 40 ever again, in my opinion. 60 to
Yeah.
80, I see us kind of hanging out there for a while though. It's a big boy, so um, yeah, yeah. If I'm gonna have to say you're right, probably here in a week about 36, because I really didn't think we were gonna get him again, but we're pretty much there. We're one flush away.
Yeah, I'm just watching, and this is actually how I traded spot today. Was I saw 195p, and I'm like, okay, when they sell those, it's going to take off, and that's exactly what happened. So, kind of similar thing here, but again, a much bigger stock. There's a lot more open interest out there.
You see,
But even if they close the 38s, that could be it. So we might not get 36.
sure.
If
You see the candle
that could happen.
today? You see that candle
Yeah,
today? It's
yeah.
right back to where it opened. I mean, that's yeah. That's like the opportunity candle. That could have been it. 37.76. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Totally with you on that. And all right, so then yeah, PTLO. I just really like their food a lot.
I told
Every
you.
time I go back
There
there,
you
just
go.
Chicago.
Fucking
There.
go.
And yeah, I like it. I like it here. I'm just this is I treat it like a bill. 25C for January. Got some July 20s. A lot of 1750 through the spring, and then 2250 for January as well. Those are under $50, so I like those.
Yeah, skip a man,
But
do skip a dinner out and buy some PTLO because Warren Buffett's buying it too. Um,
yeah,
it's definitely a longer term play. They plan to open 100 stores over the next 10 years, I believe it was, or 500 stores over the next 10 years, some ridiculous number of stores over the next 10 years. Um, so market share, market share, market share. Their food's unlike any other, and like Professor said, it's pretty darn good. Um, yeah, yeah, I love it. I love it under 15. I just don't buy it over 15p. I don't care what I pay for it, just not over 15. I shut it off then.
yeah. No, I think that's a good strategy. Option side on the leaps, it it's a little bit negligible to buy it at. I mean, you can definitely still be picky about it, but I'm saying like if you buy it at 15, it's $20 difference right now, so I
Oh,
wouldn't worry
okay.
about it too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would just say like I'm just buying it now. Don't really care. Don't even look at the price every day. I just buy it. All right, so then bros. I did get a interesting uptick in coffee flow this week, so it might actually be a sector focus for me, centered on Starbucks, and then I kind of look at the other ones.
West Side.
So every time Bros is under $32, I notice it. I'm kind of like this should not really be under 32. And that's kind of what Flow says too. So Flow on this a lot at I got 40C leaps, I got 50C leaps, and shorter term got sold puts 28, 27.50,
Yeah.
and you get to 32 and 34C, 35C over the next couple months.
Yeah, I'm
Favorite
starting.
contract April 30C, $190 if you're swinging this.
I like the 28 to 32 play here. Um, yeah, it shouldn't really stay. What is this? It shouldn't stay below 28 for long. We're in that similar setup. It's been pretty resilient here on the pullback first couple weeks too. Um, yeah.
Yeah, and I had this last ER, and it kind of popped and then pulled back, got out, did keep some. So anything I add is going to likely be averaged up because I'm under 26. I'm 25.77 is my average, but still I do want more. I don't have a lot, so I
And
do
it's
see this one
is it 50 on your
making
end?
that. Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
50C January.
Yeah. I think too many people got into it at 50. It'll come back around. You just have so much. If you go
Yeah,
right here, there's so much more volume back in here, and there's just not been a lot of volume since. Really low days or low weeks. So it's almost like good time to say that about these, especially with this one. It's almost like the big dogs don't really through COVID and whatnot. When these came out, they didn't want to start a new position in something brand new because they were worried about positions they had to manage already that they'd been in for 10, 20, 30 years, what the fuck ever, right? So they just didn't step into the new ones, or like every new one, right? Like we got to buy it just because it came out. It seems like we kind of miss that cycle on a lot of these. um, so when they come back in, I think that will really be a big mover in these stocks too, because I mean this volume's just ass for what it is. I mean like a 3-4 million a
Yeah,
week. You know, like
there, there's a Dutch Bros on every corner around where I live now. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
there's just like down the street from where I work, down the street from my house, like they're just all over. They go up fast. They're kind of like there's not much to those buildings. I mean, they're just
Mm-hmm.
basically walk up right through. So
Two sliding windows.
yeah,
um, no, the last two are both of the last two. I know they're food, but they're both into. They're going to expand a lot.
yeah,
Dutch Bros Stadium's probably going to be a thing eventually. If it's, I don't think it is already, but it will be
yeah. That college bowl game or whatever. Yeah,
something.
I could
Yeah,
see that.
exactly.
Next up is Hood, and I I like Hood under $9. Don't know that we're gonna get that. My other pivot is 974. I don't know if that
Close
has
enough.
any
Close enough.
significance.
66p, 8 cent
Oh,
pivot.
okay. And yeah, so this one, it's the flow always is 15, but it hasn't been getting there. But it kind of gets close enough. They've been killing it at at around 13. So that could happen again. So with that in mind, I would want room to play it to 13 and then let's see what happens. But June 20C. So there's a little more urgency than the January leaps. The January leaps on this are 25 and 30.
Yep.
But yeah, summer 20. That's kind of my target. And then keeping in mind that I'm going to probably clear most of it next time we get to 13 or over 1250.
Yeah, I mean, we're very similar. 966 volume profile, 972. I think you said same place. That's kind of what you're looking to get at this point in time. If you didn't get the 834, 13 is a problem, 100%. I think 15 is going to be a problem as well. But this thing, unlike the other two or three we've looked at that are playable currently, this is getting the volume. So, um, yeah, you're just a little early here because it needs to get into that upper to mid 9 range, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, yeah, this is gonna bleed out a quarter a day. So,
Tight,
you're
yeah.
2-3%. Um,
Yep. Tight range, I agree.
all right. So then I okay, so there's a couple of these. Oh, I got one more that I want to talk about, and then I'm gonna ask you a question.
All right.
Um, so it's S because I do like S a lot, and that's a big previous winner for me. And I do think the flow is pretty promising on this. The leaps
40,
are
40 or 50.
it's 35 and 40
Yeah.
for January 2025.
Go here. Yeah. As long as you're comfortable playing off of 22, 23, this is great. I mean, because it's building off of this, right? Like this came back, and now we're flipping that to support again. This right in here, which is 23, 25, and then for me, yeah, 40 or 50 after that. Um, Grinder though, definitely a grinder.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually so I did an earnings run up on this and did not catch. I got out under 20, it's like 1986, but I added under 16. So that was a good trade for me. But yeah, I wish I would have kept some. It's fine. But yeah, looking to get back in and do kind of like that 35, $36 area as a
Do,
target.
do they come up with your stuff with like
Yeah,
software and
they
stuff?
do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Software small cap list. They'll pop in there. I expect to see it over the next couple weeks with earnings coming up.
This is a good example. I'm glad you brought this one up because I didn't think about it until we kind of talked. But this is a good example of what the fuck we're looking for.
Yeah.
Like something that's going to sit down here. I don't care for how long, but this move is going to happen, and that move is almost well. That move was 100%. The 13s to 27 is 100%. So that's all I'm looking for here. Like these big frying pan bottoms. 8,
It's a cybersecurity lagger, even with the move it's had. I mean, it's when you look at what crowd and D Dog and all those have done. Same sector, pretty new company, 2013. And yeah, they're into uh, yeah, cybersecurity is their deal.
Yeah, they're way undervalued if you compare them like to book value or to earnings. They're going to be way
Yeah,
undervalued compared to Datadog, CrowdStrike, guaranteed.
yeah, and
But
that I mean that whole that corner of SaaS remains my kind of my favorite. Just it's so readable for me. A lot of those I'm having to wait to get back in, but they're
CrowdStrike,
pulling back all right.
CrowdStrike's
Yeah.
32 to book, Dog's 22 to book. This thing's 4 to book. So
So by the way, just quick note on crowd that I was talking a lot of flow to like 300 or something or 320. You had said something about 290, and interestingly enough, that was the top locally.
yeah,
So we're back down like 275. So we'll just see where we check in on this.
yeah, this guy.
Maybe halfway down this recent pop up. I don't know, like 266 or 68, something like that.
I'm $10
What I'm
lower.
looking.
You'll come back here.
Yeah.
It likes this spot. It likes this spot.
All right. So then my question for you, I look at this list. Let's talk the cheapies, the you know around $5 or less. I do see a couple, but you can pick a number, eight or less, or whatever
Mm-hmm.
uh, the price that you like to pay for stocks.
Well,
What are your best three or four
well,
from that?
PCT. It's been we've been on it, so that's the first one.
Yeah.
250 was it. I mean, that was it for me. Just didn't really last down there long. I think this still goes back to the 4 or 5, so it's still playable down here. Maybe even off the 3 psych. I think
Yeah.
that's the best one currently, just because it has range on. Even if it stays on the flat bottom, it will have a decent range. Um,
So flow on PCT is it's a little
flow.
it's more compressed than these other ones we looked at. What I mean by that is instead of January, it's May, and it's seven up to seven. So it's 5C,
Let's
7C,
yeah, just,
May. So I like that. I like the whole look here.
and then man, if I'm not ranking them, I mean, I just won't rank them. I'll just go
No,
through them.
yeah.
Okay, and then DNA, Kathy Wood's special. She's still playing it. They get so many good deals. A dollar just seems like not deals. They get so many good partnerships. I mean, they're getting a partnership like once a month with some company. Um, she's still a believer. It's a dollar stock. I don't think you can go wrong. Dollar to $2
So
is 100%.
here, here's what I would do with it. Other than shares, if you want to do options, you just have to do them. January 2026 2C is $35.
Yeah,
So
I just buy
that gives
shares with
you
every
2
month.
years. And yeah, no, shares work too.
I would just buy 20, 10, $6, $7, whatever a month, and call it good. Below, I'm a below like a buck 25, but I really don't buy it unless it's around a buck. But then you're going to sell right now without news at $1.50 or $1.70. Um,
Well, right. And what you want option side is for 1.5C to stay relevant.
yeah,
That's that's your thing. And so it has to be in the 120s for that to be the case. Or 160, that's fine. But if it gets like to $1 or 90 cents or something like that, that would not be good. Just because that contract loses its viability, and you don't want that. You want people out of the money, and that 150 2 3 months from now, that's what you want to see. And right now it is. So March 1.5C has a lot of buyers, has a lot of open interest. So that looks
it's a
promising
good
on my
time to
end.
talk about position size because I'm fucking rich, and no, I'm just playing. And I'm not putting I always plan every trade like how much overall will I put into this trade, and I'm not putting more than like $2,500 in this thing. But even at like I'm gonna do two because the math's gonna be easier. let's say even if I get all $2,000 into this trade, the flow reads long term. I guarantee you they're astronomical. It could go to 5, 7, 10 long term. So that's kind of why I'm in it. But it's also tradable, swing tradable currently, where you can take, you know, 5, 6, $700 out of that position when it does have its normal pops back to 150, 160, 170.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you have crazy leaps? Are you gonna back that up or no?
Yeah. No, it's yeah 10,
Okay, yeah,
10 and
yeah,
12.
yeah. I mean, that's why I'm in it. Is just that risk reward's too good. Pretty big fish with Kathy on it, right? I mean, she's not a small fish. She gets TV time. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm not following Hugh Henney.
Right. Right.
And then you said a below 8. So yeah, I'll just do them all. So MQ I like because they do the processing payments for Square and stuff. I know Square's their main guy. They probably do more, and they're just kind of beat down. And I don't think a lot of people know about them. They're just super, super undervalued, but they go with the market, and the 7 area has been a problem. Um, don't search the group here, though, because you get way better entry if you search the group.
So the first thing I would say is this is the third payment processor we've talked about,
Yeah.
and that is notable. I also like PayPal and Square. They're too old, but kind of a different trade. But yeah, the fintech side of things is good to me. Now, flow wise, I've got June 10s on this. I got January 15C. So that all lines up.
Yeah. For me, this one is the like, it doesn't meet the 5 out of 10 people on the street and probably never will, but they have a really good business. I mean,
I do think we get pretty close to $5 given what I see with
sure,
March 5.
sure.
So if you plan, you know, plan it out to add down to 5, I think you'll be good. Nothing below 5 though is showing up, so that'll
That's
be about it.
another one that fits that risk on, risk off checklist. You're going to want that to flip because that's when it will do better.
Yes, and it's going to have I don't know what earnings news whatever, but it's the kind of stock that will have a 15 to 30% day.
Yep.
It can happen easily for this one. So you want to be in it when that happens. You don't want to be chasing it when it happens.
Perfect. And
Um,
then Wolf.
Woof, yeah, that was the one.
Yeah.
Um, that Woof was in my last 5. Um, not really as quite imminent, but just I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm just gonna buy Woof around here, and mainly it's I think March 3C looks like it's gonna be in the money and pretty deep in the money. So 320, 330, and I say that just because of all the summer 5C leaps are at 10 on this, so that's good too. Nothing really in puts to speak of right now. Sold puts at 3 and 2.5.
Yeah, it's going to bounce on 2.5. 100%. Just how good are the bounces?
Yeah.
Tradable from share side for me, though, but that's what I'm waiting for. Um, yeah, totally oversold. Just maybe a little. The night is young here compared to the other ones, since this drop just happened, as opposed to the other ones happened a year and a half ago. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I like. I don't think you can go wrong down here. Um, Off that 250 level, I just don't think you're gonna do wrong the first 2 quarters of this year. When's earnings on
Yep.
this guy again? Because that's what did it.
They, they had them recently, so it's going to be a
It's
while.
November. Is that November?
Um,
Oh, it was December.
yeah, so they're not till
Yeah,
March.
yeah. Beginning. January, end of
Yeah,
March.
March 14th.
14th. Yeah. Yeah, so I think you got time here, but that's what I'm just watching 250. I would trade 250. Um, God, volumes just suck this week. We're gonna have some low volume candles this week, being short a day.
Yeah, no, that I've kind of noticed that even the when I talked about trading the recoveries from the flush, there's just no follow through, and I think
Yeah,
that comes from not having volume. So,
yeah, no,
and
it's
on the option side, that just kills you. So you just get you get out while it's moving quickly. You don't let it stagnate on you. You're just giving money back at that point.
yeah. I watched Fubo majority of the morning this morning buying some, and it says I'm gonna bounce off 250, and I'm gonna hang out on pre-market low. Like no control from anybody but the algos. You can just tell.
Yeah.
You can just back and forth. Yeah. Paint dry. Yeah, good stuff. I don't think there's anything pressing there that we didn't cover.
No. Yeah. I think. All right. I'll say this. So probably should have led with this. What is an IPO, and how does why did we focus on IPOs? I kind of know my answer, but I'm curious about your answer.
Oh, what's an IPO? Initial public offering of stock, where a company basically says we're going to sell this to the public because we want some money. It's basically a way to sell use your company as an asset to get some cash, real and a lot of cash, and kind of set up a loan structure for you because you can do public offerings and whatnot. So it's basically taking the bank out of becoming your own bank through using your company as the collateral. Why did we pick it? I picked it because a lot of them in the last 3 years since the COVID market or the peak of the COVID market, um, they had huge runs and huge sell offs, and they've formed enough base now that they should check back into that range, especially if they have decent reports. A lot of them have had enough reports, so you can really get a good idea of the direction of the company and how they're doing and whatnot. Just kind of overall feel for the charts in general, because I don't really talk about it a lot, but I said it enough times. Professor he knows the reason I know like Tesla so well and those other stocks is because I've seen the whole story. I've watched the whole chart. Like and
Yeah.
that's what these are here too. You guys are getting in on the ground floor, so even if you don't trade them in 5 or 10 years, you're gonna know that you're just gonna know the psychology of the chart because you've seen the whole cycle of it. So for me, it's just it's important to learn that early on because I didn't learn that early on. I kind of stumbled into it. Like, man, why can I read this stock and this stock and this stock? Well, it's because you put the 10,000 hour rule. You put that time in. Yeah, yeah. So I think it's healthy for everybody to be watching these.
Yeah, and I think we talk about stories, and so the if you came into trading kind of when I did, it's kind of that post-COVID thing. What you're used to with IPOs is a a lot of mania early, and then just like a complete collapse. Coin 350. Me asking you, is 200 gonna hold up? And you're like, no. And so then I started shorting it. I shorted it from 200 all the way to like $80. Um, okay, so that happened with a lot of them. Affirm, most of these that we talked about. But now when you look at ARM, when you look at Birkenstock, when you look at Cart, like they're not really doing that. They did have the initial pop, they fell, they climbed back up. ARM's done very well. Um, I mean, so this to me, the way IPOs are happening, um, what I'm seeing now is actually probably, if I were just coming to the market fresh, like how I would think that they would go. That they would just sort of maybe pull back initially, and then you get buyers, and then they take off. So basically what I'm saying is Instacart didn't collapse to $8. And if it had come out with those other ones, that's probably what would have happened. So we're in a kind of different situation now as far as how we read the newer IPOs. And I think it's why you see us actually do like get into these, and we're not just like, oh, just stay away. Whereas previously, that was kind of what we did. I never saw you talk about a firm in the old room when people were trading, options on it at like, 140 bucks. Like I never saw you talking about a firm back then.
No,
So yeah,
no. Piton. I'm sitting here trying to think of charts, but Piton's a good chart. Um, because this is more what IPO should do the first 5 6 months. It's kind of open up, low volume, maybe a little pullback, but kind of just stay in this range. This is 20 to 25 bucks right here for a better part of two
yeah,
years. That's a normal IPO. I mean, the stuff that we've seen the last 3 to 5 years is not normal. Rivian's probably the best one I could think of where it opens up at like 70 and goes to 190 or something like that. And this ain't normal shit. This ain't
yeah,
normal
yeah,
shit. This isn't normal at all. Um, Either way, up and down, it's just not normal. So, um, yeah, yeah. The story's a good angle. I'm glad you said it that way, Professor, because that's exactly what it is. Just following the story of the
yeah.
stock.
Yep.
Perfect. Alrighty, sir. You got anything else here? I think we did. We did about an hour.
Well, I'm just kind of thinking about what our next one might be. Um, I'm starting to get interested in staples again, so I'm kind of just maybe ruminate on that a bit. Some of your best staples charts,
No,
and we'll see what we
I like
come up
that.
with there.
There's a lot of big boys in that though. I do like that.
Yeah,
Um, I don't have anything off the top of my head that I would like the boring maybe. I mean, I don't know which one's better, like oil, gold, silver, miners, chemicals,
yeah.
something like that. But food, I don't know. That's what comes to my head. But no, I like that one. Um, we're gonna shoot for the middle of the month.
Yeah, yeah. That
Perfect,
sounds good.
perfect. So we'll just decide by then.
Oh, real quick note on on metals. Thanks for keeping me out of AG. Dropped another 7% today. So, um,
Oh man, man, really?
yep, yeah. Because I had said, oh, there's some buyers here, and you're like,
No
there's
support.
no,
Yeah,
no. It
yeah.
just
Still no support
died.
there. Golly, yeah, that's an ugly candle, dude.
Oh yeah, I'll stick with POS or something else for silver. But
Yeah, we just got some selling this week. It's weird. Low volume selling is not good for charts,
no,
especially after you run for 2 months. I mean, what do you expect, right? Um, that's going to be my note tomorrow. Is the trend hasn't changed until it changes on the weekly, because everyone's going to be
yeah,
panicking come Friday
no, for sure. Yeah.
for sure. Alrighty, sir.